Delighted to be here this afternoon. I came here basically for the first time. I was here very shortly, and a day. I came to Pakistan three months ago, so I'm still on the learning curve. And I came here now for roughly 4 days to see a number of interesting colloquiators, including the governor, members of parliament. I saw universities, I saw the civil society, I saw the National Arts College, and then a number of other institutions. I'm very happy to be in Lahore. This is one of the, I think, most renowned and most significant urban hubs of Pakistan, and I have might add, I mean, even if you are sitting in Islamabad, it's really a change to come to Lahore. It's really a big, and I would even say a very positive change. So thank you very much for hosting me. I came to the press club because I just wanted to have an interface with the Lahore press corps. I'm certainly open to questions. My first impression of Pakistan and Lahore and the Punjab in particular is a very positive one. I love to be received very warmly. I actually enjoyed most of the interfaces and most of the contacts I had, particularly in this city. I was really pleased today to see really very many young people, I mean, being with a kind of either entrepreneurial or artistic spirit, and I love to be here, and again I love to be in the company of journalists, and I'm looking forward to your questions, if you have any, about the relationship between Pakistan and Germany, but also about, I would say, general questions that relate to internal affairs of Pakistan. I sense, of course, there is ongoing debate in this country that what I perceive to be a positive sign. I mean, in a democracy, there are always different opinions, and the art of the democracy is to sort that out peacefully. My sense is Pakistan is here on a very good way. Of course, there are different opinions on this or that, on economic policy, on social policy, but I think, and we have seen it over the last days, these divergencies of views, of opinions, are being sorted out in a civilized and peaceful manner, and that is what actually counts. On the second question, on my sense of the civil society debate on environmental issues, human rights issues, civil rights issues, I have to say I'm quite impressed by the lively discussion within the Pakistani civil society. Yes, there are challenges also for civil society, that is true, but I think the civil society is brave and braced enough to stand that challenges, and my sense is they are making really headway. I've had a number of very fruitful and very constructive discussions on a number of issues, and my sense was there were no taboos at all, and that's also good for a free and a free-flowing debate in a functioning democracy. Not bad at all for the moment. We have a trade volume of just over $3 billion US dollars, which is not bad. And by the way, there is an overhang of Pakistani export to Germany. So it's a surplus of Pakistani exports, which is not that often the case in trade relations between Pakistan and the rest of the world. So, but I agree with you. Of course, it could be better. It could be improved, and over the last couple of days, we had the first of a series of business delegations from Germany here. As we speak, we have a business delegation, particularly from textile machinery industries in Germany, here in Lahore. We had a number of meetings yesterday and in the course of today with the Pakistani entrepreneurs. And my hope is that this visit of this delegation from Germany, which contains, I would say, top German textile machinery producers, will yield some results. At least business ties had been, I would say, renewed or even installed now, and my sense is that something will come out of it. We will bring some other business delegations in, I would say, sector-oriented fields. Next time it will be water technology to Pakistan. And my hope is, and the hope of the embassy, is that these kind of sector-oriented visits and sector-oriented discussions with Pakistani entrepreneurs serves better than to the overall goal of promoting and fostering Pakistani-German business relations than a abstract and very general talk about economic conditions and all that kind of thing. That's good for talk shows, but when it comes to business, you need to bring business people together with business people because they talk substance. I mean, I can sit with you, and I can sit in a TV studio and talk about, broadly about economic, I would say, economic conditions and this and that, but that does not bring one single business agreement, and that is what is count. On the question on people to people, I agree that is absolutely important. We are trying to facilitate people to people exchange, particularly when it comes to students. I have to admit we are not perfect at that. Particularly the visa practice of our embassy has some room for improvement. I admit that. We are working on it. But basically, we are very much encouraging, notably Pakistani young academicians and students to go to Germany. And we were at the Lumps in the afternoon. We met several German students there who are studying for the moment here in Lahore. Yes. So I think that is a mutual exchange, and I think that is absolutely positive, because that really strengthens the cohesion and the cooperation and the friendship between two people. And that is very much on our mind. Thank you.
Amrez Khan, Chief Reporter, Daily Observer, Islamabad.
Excellency, I would love to know your point of view on what's happening in Kashmir.
Sure.
Being an ambassador of General to Pakistan, I would love to know your point of view on Kashmir, what's happening in Kashmir, whether it's right or wrong.
Well, we have, I think in very severe terms, we have criticized the Indian move, particularly when it comes to the violation of civil and human rights in Kashmir. I think this is untenable. I think it's not sustainable at all. And we have, I would say, publicly, but more importantly, in private channels, made clear to the Indian side that there is an absolute need to improve the humanitarian situation in Kashmir. We do not want to interfere in this, I would say, internal Indian affair of, revocation of Article 370 and Article 35A. because it's basically an Indian affair. It's not for us to comment on I mean, we are not commenting on, I would say, Pakistani legislation either. So our criticism is directed particularly at the untenable civil and humanitarian situation, and our expectation is very much, and that is directed at both sides, that the situation at the line of control remains stable and that both sides refrain from actions that would jeopardize or hamper the stability at the line of control. Thank you.
Good.
Sir, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on using this new duty. And I would like to ask the question like, what will be your strategy to improve Pakistan-Germany relationship and increasing people-to-people contact? Thank you.
Say it again. What is the increase in relationship?
Between
people-to-people
people-to-people contact.
Oh, well, again, we are very much in favor of exchange of students, young people. I think young people, this is the future of any society. Yeah. I mean, there are so many young people in Pakistan. I think 60% of all Pakistanis are beneath 30. So, I mean, you cannot define a relationship or even a friendship between Germany and Pakistan, by shunting aside the youth. So, particularly when it comes to youth exchange, the embassy is trying to be helpful. As I said with the proviso I made, there is room to become better. But also we have a number of exchange programs. We have the Deutsche Akademik Austauschdienst, that is the DAAD, that is giving exchange grants to students from abroad, here in Pakistan as well. We have the Alexander von Humboldt Stiftung giving grants to postgraduate studies and students. We have a number of cultural exchange programs. We certainly are, at least in general also, and very much so, try to support business-to-business exchange. If people are going to, particularly young entrepreneurs, start-up entrepreneurs, if they want to go to fairs to Germany, if they want to, have business contacts there or, enter into business negotiations, they are wholeheartedly welcome, and we are trying to facilitate such thing. I mean, the German philosophy, perhaps that is somewhat different to other countries. Our philosophy is society and business and people, they have basically to do it by themselves. It's not the government, it's not an embassy that has to basically organize these things, but society has to organize itself. That would mean individuals, personalities. They have to do it by themselves. The government, an embassy can certainly assist, can help, can facilitate, but we are not the ones who are doing the, all that organizing thing. That has to be done by society itself. Be it business people, be it students, be it people, scientists, they have to find the right connections. Very often it depends on the right contacts, and that is not for the government to decide or for an embassy, but for the people, for the respective people themselves. Thank you.
Any other question? Robert Sindhu sir from Noivak Group.
I am working on the Chinese project, Belt and Road Initiative. Delhi is also part of this project. Do you have any plan to invest in Pakistan's industry taxi?
Well, first of all, I have to say CPEC is a very interesting concept, and I think in general very beneficial to the Pakistani economy. So from that point of view, we certainly welcome the initiative and the collaboration between Pakistan and China on that. There are, I would say, ideas about triangle cooperation between Chinese firms, Pakistani business, and German business. So far, it's, I would say, a bit on a theoretical level. So far, it hasn't seen the light of the day, but I think from a political and also from a practical point of view, I would be very much in favor of it. It has been, I would say, it's a bit difficult because of administrative and bureaucratic issues, but even the Chinese are in principle interested. We have to work on it. It's a bit difficult because we have three cultures there. I mean, we have the Chinese business culture, we have the Pakistani setting, and then we have German enterprises who are somewhat, in very many aspects, have a different view on development work, for instance. The Germans don't do that much with brick and mortar. We are much more on service related. We are much more on, I would say, also intellectual property, less on mortar and brick. But what we see in CPEC, and I'm not criticizing it, I'm just noting it, is very often infrastructure. And here, frankly, the Germans are not that strong. So that might be, let's say, a hindrance. But in principle, I'm not against at all. And I don't think the German government is. Thank you.